Guys, welcome back to the show, and today we've got a very special guest, one of the best flyweights probably in the world right now.
Listen,
the current Cage Fury Fighting Championship flyweight champion, Phumi Nkuta.
Yes, sir.
Phumi, how you doing, my guy?
I'm doing good, my man. I'm doing good, TJ. How we feeling?
I'm feeling all right.
Good.
So after your win against Alberto Trujillo, you said after the fight you think you've done enough to get the call.
Yeah.
Has any progress been made in making that happen?
Look, man, slowly but surely we're making progress. Look, I still believe to this day, man, I did everything I can to make the call. 4 rounds of dominance against who, in my opinion, at the time was the best flyweight outside of the UFC. Now, man, all I need is a chance to fight against the best guys in the UFC. At the end of the day, I'm still training hard. I'm still training good. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready for the big show.
And in that fight, it seemed like you just utterly dominated him. And he seemed like the most experienced opponent that you faced to this point.
Yeah.
What about your style gave him so much fit?
Man, I honestly believe at the end of the day, I'm the most complete mixed martial artist you're going to possibly see in that cage, man. When it comes to strength, I got it. Power, I got it. Speed, I got it. You want to break it down to the technical side? Sure. Wrestling, I could do that too. Jiu-jitsu, no problem. Striking, bro, do you know who my head coach is? You know what I mean? Ray Longo, man. Come on. At the end of the day, I don't think there's a single piece of mixed martial arts that I don't have in my game. And when I step into the ring with guys like Alberto Trujillo, guys who have more fights than me, guys who have more experience than me, to me it don't matter, man. I train hard, and that's how we walk out with this thing.
Now, I've seen that you've said for your first fight in the UFC, when you do get the call, you want your first fight to be against Izzy's teammate, Kai Kara France.
Yeah.
What about that matchup seems like a good fit for your first fight?
You know what, man? I like Kai Kara France. He's a very entertaining fighter. He's a good striker. I respect his striking skills. Yeah. The guy's got good defensive grappling. So, in my opinion, I think it would be a great test. But you look at all Kai Kara France's fights, and they're entertaining, fun fights to watch, man.
They are, yeah.
You look at my fights, and you know you're going to be in for a good treat. So, I just think my mixed martial arts stylistic matchup, Kai Kara France's entertaining ability. Who wouldn't want to see Kai Kara France versus me in the ring, right?
I would want to see that. But so let's go back for the training camp for this last fight you had.
Yeah.
How did COVID affect what you were doing training wise?
I mean, look, I will say earlier in the year, COVID made things harder. You know, last year when COVID hit, you know, our gym was shut down. A lot of the gyms were shut down. But I'll tell you what, man, you can either sit and relax or you can get to grinding, man. And I think we were in that house for a couple of days quarantining, and then we looked at our garage. We said, we have some space. We might as well put it to work, man. So I think we turned that garage into a gym in about a day. The next day, man, we were training like 3 times a day, man, 4 times a day. Just so much drilling there, you know.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I think whereas COVID might have hurt a lot of people, you know, fortunately for me, I was blessed, man, and I actually got to put in more work. I got to learn more. I got to work harder. I got to grind a little bit harder. And, man, that's why I can go 20 minutes of hell, man, if I need to in that octagon. Those championship rounds are easy because I put in the work.
Nice. All right, let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
So how did you get into mixed martial arts?
I love telling this story, man. I told it a bunch of times now, but I was actually a pro wrestling fan at first. Back in the day, I would watch, you know, all the guys like Bret Hart and The Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold.
Yeah.
And funny, when I was watching pro wrestling, Ken Shamrock was in the WWE, right? So, a UFC legend, right? You know, world MMA champion. So, I'd seen him in WWE at first, right? And I was watching, you know, MMA. I was flipping through the channels one day, and I see him fighting Tito Ortiz. And I'd watched boxing before. I'd seen kickboxing, so I knew what real fighting was, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, this guy, Ken Shamrock, must be out of his damn mind. Like, what is he doing in there? This isn't fake fighting. This isn't pro wrestling. He's really fighting this guy in here. You know, and all of a sudden you start watching a little bit more, and you start realizing, oh, these guys are doing real techniques.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just 2 guys in there brawling and throwing hands. One guy's trying to use his technique to get up. The other's trying to use the technique to get him down.
Yeah.
As soon as he backs up, Tito Ortiz will get right back in. I'm like, oh, so there's something to this.
Yeah.
There's a flow. There's a progression here.
Yeah.
I like this, man. I love it. And I was just, as soon as I saw them wrap the belt around, I think it was Tito Ortiz's waist, man, I was hooked. I was like, I want that belt right there.
Wow, it's
Pretty cool, right?
That's a crazy story.
Pretty cool.
So what do you think about the guys who go from WWE to MMA?
To
guys
MMA?
guys like Brock Lesnar, Ken Shamrock, and all that.
Look, man, honestly, I think they really are one and the same. You get a lot of pro wrestlers who don't like MMA fighters, and then you get a lot of MMA fighters who call the pro wrestlers fake, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, they really are kind of one and the same. And that's why I like both. You have that one-on-one competition, mano y mano, right?
Yeah.
The winner is the better man. It doesn't matter what, you can say whatever you want. You could, slap a guy in front of a fight before the fight. You could, make fun of his mom, say whatever.
Yeah.
But when you step in that ring, it's mano y mano. And the winner walks out on top. Winner also usually walks out with one of these. You know what I mean? So I think WWE, they play up the storylines a little bit more. But it still comes down to that same concept. Mano y mano, who's the best? And that's why I like both. As far as those guys, man, who want to hop in and do both, I think it's pretty cool. Why not? There's, the theater side of it, right, which is the pro wrestling, which we do for the audience.
Yeah.
But then you look at, the fighters too. When they hop into that front, that's real. That's as real as it gets, man. So I don't think those WWE guys should try and hop in unless they have a lot of experience and a lot of training. But
Definitely.
I don't mind to tell somebody that they can't come to our game, and
Yeah.
why would I tell our guys not going to their game? You know?
Yeah. So, growing up, did you which martial arts did you start with?
I started out. I guess I went to kickboxing classes first, but I the first thing I did learn was boxing. Now I didn't have to go to like any traditional boxing schools. My mom actually, she had like a friend she had a mutual friend who knew Emmanuel Stewart.
Oh.
And I don't know if you know who Emmanuel Stewart is. That's Kronk Boxing. He taught all the legends out of there, Kronk, man. Tommy Hearns, to be specifically. So, I got to learn a little bit from him, man, in the times that I met him when I was like a real young kid. I think maybe about 5 years old, maybe 6 years old. Met him again, I want to say when I was like around 10, 11 years old. So yeah, man, I mean, you're around a guy like that, you get to ask him questions about boxing. I mean,
Definitely.
that definitely helps. It definitely helps, man. So I guess I started with that. Then I moved to kickboxing, then jiu-jitsu, and finally wrestling before I actually came here and put it all together.
That's interesting because I always thought that you had wrestling first because a lot of the guys that run through Longo Weidman, a lot of the guys who have really good wrestling, that's the martial arts they start with.
100%.
So,
I mean, look, man, you gotta look too, man. The East Coast is good for wrestling, man. We got a lot of good wrestlers.
Definitely.
We got beasts in New Jersey. I mean, if you wrestle in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, you're gonna be good, man. You're gonna be good. So, 100%, I understand.
So, looking once. Oh, so your teammate, Aljamain Sterling.
Yes, sir.
He, actually, a few days between you guys both had your title fights in between each other.
Yeah, that was actually really cool. That was cool.
So the situation happened.
Oh yeah.
You got kneed in the head
Illegally.
and to my surprise,
Illegally.
Aljamain Sterling is getting the most hate for that.
Bro. To my surprise too.
What is your opinion on a lot of people out there like Ariel Hawani always talking about how he's not handling being the heel correctly, how people are just blaming him for the win when Peter Yan's the one who cheated?
My whole thing is this. I understand this sport. I think this sport is becoming more and more like pro wrestling every day.
Yeah.
In the sense where you got to look at the fans, right? Are the fans going to sit here and think about things logically in our sport? Probably not, man. They have their guys that they like. They have their guys that they dislike. They have their guys that they want to win. They have their guys that they thought were going to win, et cetera, right? At the end of the day, man, a lot of these guys, they really don't care what the fighters feel. They don't care about the real life implications of fighting. You know, those guys, man, they just want to see blood for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And I get that. Peter Yan will give that to him.
Aljo's definitely more on the wrestling side, so I can see how.
Aljo is a cerebral kind of fighter.
But he was putting it on him in the first round,
Bro,
though.
he was putting him on it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was putting it on the guy. But my whole thing is this, just going back to my point.
Yeah.
The fans, like me, I was with Aljo that night.
Yeah.
They think, oh, he was fine after the knee or whatever. Like, the guy had a concussion. He was throwing up that night. I was there for that.
I think people saw the pictures he was taking afterwards, and they started.
So that's the thing, is he wasn't even taking the pictures.
Yeah,
it was us.
I didn't see anything wrong with you guys celebrating that he got a UFC championship.
The way I see
UFC
it, man,
championship.
it's not even about celebrating the belt. Whether he won or he lost
Yeah.
or what have you, we would have been there to celebrate life
Yeah.
with him. It just so happened that he had the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for people to be like, oh, well, he shouldn't have taken it. We took those pictures. Why? Because we're fucking proud of our friend Aljo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're proud of that guy. We're proud he made it to the belt. We're proud he ended up with the belt. Regardless of how he did it. Anyways, we're just proud, we just want to celebrate life with that guy. You know what I'm saying? But the fans don't see that. The fans, they just want blood, man. They just want guts. They just, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about, if Aljo has concussion. They don't care about, Aljo's brain trauma or anything like that. All they want to see is blood.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and I think he's starting to realize this too, is at the end of the day, you gotta realize the opinions of those guys, they don't matter.
Yeah.
It's what you do in that octagon, man. And when they step in that octagon again, Aljo's gonna smash Peter Yan, and everybody's gonna be shut up.
I hope so. And he had some choice words for former ref John McCarthy at one of the UFC press conferences for his opinions on the Yan situation.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, you know what it is it's a lot of people giving their opinions on a situation who weren't part of it or know what it's like to be there.
Yeah.
All these guys can say whatever they want about, oh, he shouldn't have. Look, man, if I'm losing a fight and I'm the champion, right? This is what happens in pro wrestling. If I'm losing a fight and I'm the champion, what stops me from disqualifying myself, right?
Yeah.
I'm losing the fight, I'm 4 rounds down. Hell, I might as well kick somebody in the balls if I'm not going to lose the belt.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Disqualification should mean you lose the title.
Exactly.
It means you're no longer the champion.
That's why I thought the John McCarthy opinion was probably the worst opinion out of them all. Saying if they get disqualified, it should be a interim, or they should just not have a belt or something like that. To me, if you lost the fight because what Peter Yan did, it wasn't even that looked like accidental. He lined that shit up. He said he waited there. He looked up. He says, "Can I kick him?" I don't know if someone in the corner said kick or not, but
regardless, there's two things in my opinion. And this is my thoughts on Peter Yan. Either he's that much of a malicious asshole that he really had to throw that knee, or he's so damn stupid that he's the UFC champion and he doesn't know the rules.
Yeah.
Either one. You're either a malicious piece of trash, or you're that stupid that you're the champion and you don't know the own rules to your own sport. Yeah. He's got two choices, and it's up to him which one he wants to be.
I would sort of think he's the first one.
That's what I'm saying, man. Regardless, it ain't a good look. It ain't a good look. So, look, man, people can say whatever they want about Aljo. At the end of the day, if you're a champion, you carry yourself like a champion, right? Why did Figueiredo not get the belt when he beat Benavidez the first time? Because he didn't make championship weight. You know what I'm saying?
True, yeah.
Why is Peter Yan stripped of the belt? Because he didn't perform like... You must be a champion in every ounce of mixed martial arts in the sport.
Exactly.
If you want to carry the belt, you got to make weight. You got to do the right thing. You got to not cheat in the ring. And then you got to make it out of there unscathed. It's easy to kind of get the belt, but can you actually play along, follow the rules, and be a professional? Obviously, some people can't do that.
That's actually a great segue because you brought up Davison Figueiredo.
Yeah.
And he has a fight coming up against the second fight against Moreno.
Yeah, very soon.
What did you think about the first fight between them?
I thought it was a great fight, man. It kind of confirmed everything I thought about the guy, Figueiredo. I know a lot of people, they say he's the god of war. They play him up to be,
Yes.
the flyweight, Anthony Johnson or something like that, man. At the end of the day, the guy's human,
Yeah.
right? People see that, when they look at Figueiredo. I see a guy who missed weight and couldn't
cuts
stomach
all.
making
He cuts
125. You know what I'm saying? I see a mental midget who couldn't make 125.
Yeah.
When he fought Alex Perez, I see a guy who grabbed the cage to stop that takedown before he ended up getting the submission, right? When I look at, his fight with even Brandon Moreno, everyone, they like to talk about, oh, he finally made it 5 rounds. You know what I see? I see a guy who, at one point, hit the guy below the belt, got a 2-minute break in the middle of the 3rd round. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, goes back to being a professional.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Figueiredo's a very good fighter. I think he's a strong guy. He's a very, explosive guy. But I don't think he's the best guy in the world, And I think Brandon Moreno showed that.
Yeah. Definitely. For people who are saying, like, he finally went 5 rounds, I saw him gas.
Yeah.
That 4th round was definitely Moreno's round. And if Moreno didn't hurt his arm in that 5th round, he would have won that fight.
I mean, look, man, and not for nothing, I'm saying go back and look at that 3rd round. I believe it was the 3rd round. There was a point where Figueiredo was starting to slow down. What happens? He hits Brandon Moreno below the belt, and then the guy gets a minute and a half break in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
Look, man, at the end of the day, you're not going to say that when you watch my fights.
Yeah.
I fought for 20 straight minutes in that octagon on March 11th, and I tried not to take a break. I got hit below the belt, and I kept on pushing forward and closing the show. So, at the end of the day, man, I think he's, very good fighter, but mindset is just different, man.
Yeah.
He's a mental midget.
So, going back to the back to the Aljamain situation, there was reports coming out that Matt Serra, part of the corner at here, he's not going to be cornering for a while now, and there were also reports that he was upset with Aljamain that he wasn't a part of that corner. Was that a situation that was blown out of proportion, in your opinion, or was that?
Man, like I said with the fans earlier, man, they love blood, guts, and drama, bro. You know what I'm saying? They'll take the smallest mundane thing, man, and try and blow it up and make it something huge. People were saying, Sarah Longo's falling apart and all that, man. Dude, fans don't know nothing, man. At the end of
got a second belt. That's
what I'm saying, man. So look, man. At the end of the day, was it a misunderstanding? Yeah, but they piece it up. We're all good. You know what I'm saying? But fans love being fans, bro.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, they love seeing little bits of drama and just blowing it up, man. But everything's all good. All smiles here at Sarah Longo.
There's a reason why the Ultimate Fighter is back.
Yeah, 100%, man.
But anyways, we're looking back over here. Got a lot of UFC champions, a lot of UFC fighters over here.
Look at that. Look at that wall right there. That's crazy.
You were in the corner a few weeks ago for Marab.
Yeah, for that guy right there, almost in the middle. Right there, Marab.
What do you think his potential is at the bantamweight division? And
sky is the limit for that guy, Marab, man. Like you know what's crazy is you go back and you look at who he was. At least me, I compare who he was to when he first joined this gym.
Yeah.
Right? But for you guys, go back and watch his first UFC fight.
Yeah.
He's kind of crazy, right? We all obviously know the guy wants to fight.
He's an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, we obviously know he's an adrenaline junkie. But now, when you look at him, man, the guy is just so calm, cool, collected, and he's poised. His striking is so much better. His wrestling is technical. Now when he gets those takedowns, he's not flying all over the place. He tries to settle in position. Yeah. Now, man, when you think those takedowns are coming, he's landing 1-2s and 3-2s in your face.
I saw the striking was actually increased in this last fight,
bro. And let me tell you something, man. Since that fight a couple weeks ago, he's back in the gym. He's already getting better. His striking's already improving and blowing up since the last fight, man.
That's scary.
Everybody at 135 pounds. Other than our teammates, you guys are in trouble. You guys are in trouble.
I was going to bring that up because the champion right now is part of your gym, and now he's rising up in that. Would there be a situation if Marab were to get up there?
Look, man, I could tell you this right now. I'm going to shut the door on all that. We're not like any of those gyms, man. I'm not even gonna name gyms, but
you're not gonna be like John Jones and Rashad Evans.
Bro, we're not gonna be like that, man. We're not gonna be like Gilbert Burns and Usman, man. Yeah. At the end of the day, we all want each other to be successful.
Yeah.
Definitely. I wouldn't compete against my own boy in here because I want that guy to win.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Same thing with those guys, man. Like, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I don't know what the UFC is going to have to do about it, but eventually they're going to have to give Merab and Aljo the UFC Bantamweight Tag Team Champions of the world.
Tag team.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're not going to fight each other, and they're going to clean out the entire division. You know what I'm saying? So,
It'll be an interesting time once they do that.
yeah, 100%. Man. Look, they're going to have to, because nobody's going to beat Merab. Nobody's going to want to face Merab, and then they're not going to beat Aljo
You're seeing
either.
it. You're seeing it right now. I thought a great fight for Merab would have been, at least a test for him, would have been the Sean O'Malley fight. Get him some fans,
Some
in
clout,
there.
right? Yeah.
But O'Malley's taking some of these guys who aren't even ranked and stuff like
Bro,
Almeida. He's taking these guys. I thought if he were to get in there with Merab, it would be a test for both of them. Can Sean O'Malley stop a takedown? Can Merab stick with the striking of Sean O'Malley?
I'll tell you what, man. I got to be honest. I like O'Malley, good guy,
Yeah.
but at this point, I feel like Merab should look past him.
Yeah,
you know what I
definitely.
mean? Like there was a point where
There's-
O'Malley was ranked and Merab wasn't. Maybe that would have been a great fight for Merab, but right now Merab's
Yeah.
looking up, man.
Definitely,
He wants top
definitely.
10. He wants top 5. He's number 10 right now.
He is,
that
yeah.
guy, man, has as many takedowns as Khabib Nurmagomedov and didn't even fight as much as him in that octagon. You know what I'm saying? So
It's insane.
it's insane, man. So at the end of the day, Merab should get a bigger opportunity,
feel
at
like-
least in my opinion, than Sean O'Malley.
I feel like anyone in that division is just scared of Merab just for the sole fact that when he gets up in that third round, like in the fight you just cornered, he gets up in the third round, you see his opponent just sitting there like, and Merab's just there, just bouncing
Yeah,
around,
bouncing,
and,
baby.
and I'm like, you just wrestled for 10 minutes,
For 10 minutes
and now
straight.
you're just like, yeah.
You wanna
I'm-
know what's
I'm-
crazy about
I'm-
that? After the fight, he's barely even breathing. He's just like, "Yeah, guys, I could do more rounds." I'm like, "Bro, we know you could do more rounds. We know, we know you could do more rounds, bro."
I really want to see him in a main event.
Oh,
I want to
no,
see him in
look.
that 5 round because I think that's where his talent will come out. Because
Yeah.
he will out cardio anyone in the bantamweight division.
100%, man.
And so that's I really want to see that happen. But let's move on. Got another teammate.
Yep.
Name of the gym, Longo Weidman.
Yeah.
It's a sad situation. What happened with him and
Sucks. Yeah.
with him
Yeah,
and what's his name?
Uriah Hall.
Uriah Hall,
Yeah,
yes,
you made me
yes.
blank for a little bit.
Yeah, like so that's just I see Dana White comes out after the fight and says Uriah Hall's the first fighter ever to win a fight without throwing a single strike.
Yeah.
What did you see out of that situation? Because
I mean, look, man, we are in the craziest sport of all time.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? It's a half an inch higher, a half an inch lower.
Yeah.
It might not have happened. A little less power, it might not. But then again, it's like we're playing all these games of what ifs, man.
Definitely.
And you can't play that in MMA. You gotta. MMA is one of those sports, man, where you gotta, whether you win or you lose, you gotta just saddle back up and get ready for the next one. Get ready for the next day. Try and be the better person you were the day before.
yeah.
And when you face your trials and tribulations, keep pushing, man. And that's what Chris Weidman has been doing, man. Like, there's nobody.
He's been out for it happened like 36 days ago. He's walking on
He's
his own.
already walking, man.
Like,
I'm
what the
telling you,
hell?
there's nobody mentally like Chris Weidman in the world. And look, I think even for many people probably telling him to hang it up. You know, for a lot of people that might be the case. But I'm saying if there's anybody who could actually come back from this, still be a UFC champion, it's that guy. He's the only guy I would say, look, that guy can come back from that. He could still wrestle. He could still strike. He's still technically a beast. He's still physically a monster.
Yeah.
You know, I would point to Chris Weidman and say, you know, that guy can come back still.
Yeah, definitely.
Sucks that it happened, but at the end of the day, man, this sport, you know, anything and everything can and will happen to you at some point, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So go back to your career for a second.
Yeah. We're bouncing all over the
you're,
place, baby. Let's go.
So your first professional fight, it was on a Bellator card.
Bellator.
What happened with that?
10,000 seats. Yeah, I was they'd asked. She's not like my manager, but I guess she was matchmaking for me at the time. I guess she was my manager, Jenny Nadell. They'd asked her if I wanted to fight on the October 25th Bellator card. I think it was Bellator 231 against it was Frank Mir and Roy Nelson was the main event.
Yeah.
I was in actually Japan helping our guy Sasaki get ready for his fight in Ryzen at the time, and I think it was like maybe 10 days away or something like that. Or so I was like, all right, I'm in. Like Bellator, say less, man. I'm just say no more. I'm in. So finished cornering my fighter, finished cornering him. And then it was right back to training, man. I think we had like a week to train for that fight. And we put on another show, man. Stole the show. Put on a highlight reel level performance again. Didn't get touched again. And walked out victorious on the Bellator stage.
You won that fight by... Was that the fight you... Oh, that was the decision.
Decision, yeah. But that was the fight where I had that third round. When I started off the third round, bing, 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 takedown.
So, what happened with Bellator? Did things just not work out? Or?
Yeah, I guess I mean I know they don't have a 125-pound division. I think that might be the big hang-up. As far as I'm concerned, though, I'll fight again at 135 pounds. But look, man, my main goal is to prove though that I am the best flyweight in the world, and then eventually go up to 135. But look, if Bellator calls me up, who knows, man? I could show up there and steal the show anytime I want to. So we'll see.
Definitely. So your first fight in Cage Fury. Yeah. You win that by Americana.
A submission you don't usually see from half guard, too.
Yeah, exactly. How did that all happen? Because I'm trying to think back to the fight and how did the submission?
So interesting first, man. Like I actually couldn't grapple at all going into that fight. My training camp, man. I actually I was in Vegas and I tore my LCL. Like not completely tore, but I had like a grade 2 tear. They said it was bad. It was hanging by a thread or whatever. So I couldn't do any jiu-jitsu, any grappling. We were basically doing boxing for the first week, and then when my legs started feeling better, I started just doing a little kickboxing. Yeah. So that fight, man, we're doing cardio, but man, I couldn't do everything I wanted to do. But for some reason, man, I shot it on his leg, and I wanted him to actually defend the takedown so I can come back up and keep striking. Because I wanted to show more of my striking in that fight. Yeah. But then he didn't defend the single leg. So I was like, all right, I guess I might as well just take him down. And I was on top, man. And I know once I'm on top, man, I get that top pressure going. Yeah. Dude, I'm a nightmare matchup for anybody. Yeah. I don't care if you're 125 pounds or you're 170 pounds. I get on top of you, man. I'm a nightmare for you to get back up off of, man. So I was able to keep him down on the ground. I felt he was exhausted from the first round and kind of gave me the submission there. He almost left his arm out and kind of let me twerk it. So, sure. I was like, I'll take it.
It got you a title opportunity.
It got me a title opportunity, man, at 2-0. Come on, who else is doing that?
Who else is going to the UFC at 3-0? Who else is going to the UFC?
That's what I'm saying. Look, man, at the end of the day, like, and I was calling for the title fight even before that fight. Yeah. Right? I won the title fight against Santo Curatolo, and I think he said no. He said, like, I wasn't good enough or whatever.
You weren't proven or something like that?
I wasn't proven. I don't know. Regardless, like, the way we work here at our team, man, Sarah Longo, we all work like world champions, man. Like, that's the whole point. If you don't work like a world champion, then I can't go out there and say, oh, I want the CFFC title, or I think I deserve this opportunity, or I deserve to be in the UFC. Like, all has to come from that hard work. And we put in the work, man. Like I said, I was putting in work last year for it. I felt I was ready for the opportunity. After I got that Americana, it seemed like everybody at CFFC agreed I was ready for the opportunity too. Definitely. And now look what we got.
Exactly. So, in the UFC right now, after Ngannou's win over Stipe, you got 3 African champions.
3 African champions.
None baby. From South Africa, though.
Soon.
How excited are you to hopefully become the 4th African?
Hopefully. Look, man, I don't play ifs and all that. It's when it will happen. No, it would feel good, man. Honestly, it wouldn't even would it feel good for me to win the belt? Sure, but like, man, when I raise that flag, man, and I get messages from people back home, I get messages from my family, you know, I see people and they love the support, they almost, you know, they feel inspired too when I raise that flag out there. So when I win that belt, it will be nice for me, of course, but when I win that belt and wave that flag, man, it's gonna be an awesome moment for the people of South Africa, man, and it's just at that point going to be about giving back, you know.
Definitely. All right. Do you have anything coming up? Anything you want to promote?
I mean, obviously, follow me on Instagram, PHUMINKUTA_MMA. That's on Instagram and Twitter. We don't have any fights booked, but trust me, I'm going to keep working hard, and maybe I'll be in an octagon near you.
All right. Thank you for your time, Phumi.
Of course, brother.
I really
of course.
appreciate it. All right. See you guys next time.
Turbo out.